All right, Josh, what are some of the common mistakes people make when developing their outer circle?
Yeah, it was kind of fun thinking through this. Nick, you might appreciate this. I went with an alliteration on
Nice.
this one. Yeah, so
Hey, it also makes it memorable.
there you go. Yeah, that's true. So I was thinking things that I've seen are people, the outer circle can sometimes be too myopic, too minuscule, or too murky.
Yeah.
And as far as the myopic piece,
That's actually a double alliteration. That's impressive. Two,
thanks.
you did a T and an M.
There you
Although the
go.
word two, I guess, is all of them. But
That's true.
I'm impressed.
All right.
You're going to have to explain to some of us what myopic means, though.
Okay, I'll go there first. So it's being like too short-sighted, like not having the big, like it literally, like in medicine, it means nearsighted, but it can also just mean like you're just focusing on the now, but not having the bigger picture in mind.
Yeah.
And so, and I love actually what you were saying about those specifics with using the outer circle to directly combat the negative behaviors and thought patterns that have been in your life. So that's an example of being really thoughtful and intentional about it. If you're myopic, you might just be kind of writing stuff down so you can check the box of like, okay, I've got a couple things in each of these areas, but they're not super specific. It might not be quite as beneficial. And then the next one, too minuscule, just simply making the outer circle too small. And Rich, you mentioned this too, as far as like not being able to fit it in the circle itself. Sometimes it's helpful to not even use the actual circles, but keep that picture in mind. But just actually, you could just make like bullet point lists, and then you can really fit in as many things as you want there. Because a limited list leads to a limited impact for us. And then too murky, just being too obscure or not having clear definitions around it.
Yeah.
Like if one of your things is, I want to exercise more, if it's on the physical health aspect, then it's like, okay, great. Like that's really general. Like what do you want to do for exercise? Where do you want to do it? What time of day do you want to do it? How long do you want to do it for? And not that we want to be legalistic about making this list, but you want to have clearly defined parts of it so that you can actually meet those goals. And so you want to hit that balance of like having specificity but attainability as well with the things that you put in there.
One of the mistakes that I've seen people make is that their whole outer circle are good things, but it feels like a should. I should do this. I should read my Bible more. I should exercise more. I should lose some weight. I should read more books. I should take a class. And there's a role of discipline in our lives. There's a role of doing things that we maybe don't feel like doing. But if our outer circle is 14 things that we should do, it actually can become very condemning and just like, and then if we're not doing it, it's increased shame at times of here's all the things I should be doing that I'm not, and that's why I'm so unhealthy. I really think the outer circle, there need to be places in there that we look at and go, when I do that, it gives me life. It gives me enjoyment. It's something that it awakens passion in me. And whether it's around music or hanging out with friends or mentors that speak into your life or pursuing a hobby or, doing something you love that, like you were saying earlier, Josh, that when you're done, you do feel more alive and energized and ready to engage with the world around you. There has to be some things on there that are, again, like that green light, that yes for your brain that you look forward to, even like these are the things I get to do. And sure, put on there how much you want to read your Bible, how much you want to sleep. I think that's good. But if it's all just shoulds of I should be doing this and everybody else does this, so I should do that, I don't think you're going to be very successful. There ought to be a number of things on there that you've identified that, oh no, these are things I really want to do. I just forget to, or I get too busy, or I don't make time for them. But if I keep that on my list and I keep it in front of me, that doing those things becomes something I'm gravitating towards, rather than just having it be a long list of all the things I'm trying to check off to be healthy.
Yeah, I think oftentimes we'll put stuff in there that we just do it just because it's an assignment.
Yeah.
And they're in there, and they could be good, but what I do is I want to put something in there that's measurable. So I know sleep is in mine. So you can say, well, everybody needs sleep. But then again, well, how do you measure it? Well, I have an app. So it measures, actually I use a CPAP. So on my phone, it actually tells me that I'm sleeping about 8 to 9 hours a night.
Dang, good job. That's impressive.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sleep goals.
Yeah. Thank you for the CPAP. But before that, I wasn't getting any sleep hardly at all. But when I mean like putting something that's measurable in there, whether it's like, you said like, being healthy, working out. So, okay, I like how you mentioned like putting it in a bullet point. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get healthy and exercise. Well, what does that mean? Well, it can mean anything, but if you make it immeasurable, I'm going to walk every day for an hour or 30 minutes, and then you set up a schedule. So those are all measurable things that you're actually putting in there instead of just saying, I'm going to go to the gym and then just check it off. And I'm going to get better sleep, or I'm going to eat healthy. Okay, well, I'm going to eat healthy, but what are the things you're going to eat, and, set up a meal plan, all that kind of stuff. So really recovery, it's like when we do our commitment change, everything's going to be measurable. There's going to be measurables tied to it.
Yeah, that's so true. And I love like what both of you are saying as far as like measurability, and also like you don't want it to be a burden. And so it's okay to set the bar low. Like you do want it to be something you're working toward and really looking forward to. And so like, set the bar low so that you can actually like achieve the goal and feel good about it. You can raise the bar later on, but at least you don't want the outer circle to be a burden. It should be, like you said, Nick, something that like invigorates you and excites you and makes you feel more whole.